Hey, TJ, genuine question. What's the significant difference between hyperbole and misinformation?
Hyperbole tends to have an element of facetiousness to it, I guess.
Is that not very interpretable?
Yeah.
And therefore, in a world where misinformation is getting curtailed, a lot
once
of
again, like always err on the side of freedom, right?
Well, so
okay, but wait,
you're not though. That's the thing.
Wait, no, hold on. So yeah. I like that. Always err on the side of freedom. That's great. This is not the position that you put forward in your video.
No.
Like if this position you put forward now with us was your video, we wouldn't have never even covered
I'm just
explaining
it a little deeper. I mean, I don't know. It's like
but this is where
there's the problem of like the superficiality of like hearing one statement that a person makes, and then like, oh, I understand.
Sure, yeah. Response.
It wasn't
you
one
start to describe a lot of like tribal attributes to people, like, oh, well, they're part of this tribe, so they probably believe this and this and this and this, and then you have like this whole litany of
and thanks for coming
of attributes that you've decided the person exemplifies or something, even though it's not necessarily the case.
TJ, and thanks for coming on.
I think you're doing a mop and bucket
shut the fuck up.
I think he's doing a mop and bucket. Like, honestly, if I'm being honest, the mop is out, and he's trying to make sure you don't attack his bucket.
The mop and bucket, man.
The mop and Bailey, I like that. The mop and bucket.
See, there you go.
I like it too.
No, but I think
let's wrap this up, okay? I'm getting tired of this.
Oh.
No.
Are we gonna have like a real conversation here? Are we all gonna talk?
Where the fuck have you been?
I don't know what Adam. I don't know what you're upset about, honestly. But what I was gonna say,
I'm trying to drill on an actual argument here.
Okay,
so.
Stop. We're drilling on something very important.
Yes,
which is that this is what Mahler brought up, something about hyperbole versus like misinformation or disinformation, and it feels like, and this happens with a lot of content creators on YouTube, is that in order to create like an artistic piece or order to sort of create something engaging, the message becomes so hyperbolic that it's basically it doesn't even match whatever the original intention was. And when I listen and I look, because I have like the transcript of the video open, when I look at the transcript of that and I look at what you're saying now, you're so hyperbolic in your video that I don't even see, like, there seems so worlds difference of opinion that you're giving.
All right, well, maybe you can give me an example.
Well, okay, so first of all, you lead the whole thing about saying that, Republicans don't care, or people on the right don't care about freedom of speech. They just want to say the N-word. And you kind of go into this, I was naive to believe in free speech, but now you're going to be, where is it? You're saying you're going to be, ending up on the train to Auschwitz, essentially.
Yeah.
Because of... So,
okay,
but do you see where...
I don't really see where's the discrepancy?
So if you're laying out an argument that says, right-wingers don't believe in free speech, they just want to be racist, and I was naive to believe in the importance of free speech, and you said I was naive to believe that, in a debate of ideas, the truth would prevail, and then you say, you're going to end up on this train to Auschwitz, essentially. I mean, these are much stronger claims for we need to restrict speech, other than this. Well, we need to err on the side of caution in gray areas.
Okay, so but when I said that a lot of people on the right just want to use the N-word and this and that, I wasn't using that as an example of the kind of speech that should be censored. I was using that as an example of the kind of free speech they actually prize, the kind of free speech that they actually want or care about. And I actually would not censor that, because to me, that's an opinion. And, I don't want to censor opinion. So, I think they should still have the right to talk whatever hateful shit they want to. But I was just pointing out that seems to be the only instance in which they actually care about free speech.
Yeah, but but you're laying on an argument that you think, and you're like, oh, I want to be Tim Poolish, but I think we're leading to the path of civil war and to Auschwitz. And if you're
I do believe that.
Right. So, but you're creating you're crafting an argument where you're saying free speech is leading us down the path of the Civil War and Auschwitz, so that we need to curtail this.
Well, I don't know if it came across like that, then I guess that maybe I should have worded it better, because I don't think that's what I intended to say.
Okay.
I think what I was just saying is, I think I was just like maybe just generally pissed at right-wing ideology and was just talking about the ultimate expression of it and what it seems like people on the right actually want. I don't think that freedom of speech is what leads you there. I think that, you know, belief in right-wing ideology is what leads you there.
Okay.
So I guess I maybe conflated a couple of different issues there. And maybe I should have worded it better. But I don't think I was trying to make the case that freedom of speech directly causally leads to that outcome.
Well, okay. Well, I guess I'll ask you, what were you trying? I mean, the video is labeled free speech and death camps. So well, like, what is the point, I guess, of the video then?
It's not like free speech leads to death camps. I don't know.
That's how it comes across.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe, like I said, maybe it was clumsily done. I mean, like, I've been doing this thing in July where I've been trying to do a video every day. And like sometimes, you know, there might be a little rush job here and there.
Right.
So maybe like some ideas were casually thrown together that were maybe a causal link was implied more strongly than I intended it to be because of the nature of that challenge that I gave to myself. So I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch and see like what I was saying there.
So what was your point in the video then?
I mean, my point was I was just trying to wake people up to the fact that they have an enemy that wants to do them harm. I mean, I think
man, how can that possibly not backfire at all, though? And that's got to be the justification for so many people you would say need to be curtailed. I don't know. I hate hearing it.
You can wake people up to a perceived enemy.
I don't know. I mean, like, should I tell? I mean, I don't want to tell them that, like, hey, these right wingers are all a bunch of, cuddly, fluffy teddy bears who don't wish you ill will, because I don't believe that.
Right.
Like, I live in the South. I live in one of those conservative areas in the country. I hear what these people fucking say. I hear them fucking talk about shooting faggots and we gotta fucking get the, N-words back under slavery and all this shit. I've heard these motherfuckers say this shit. So like, don't tell me what's what, motherfucker. I know how these motherfuckers think.
But that's not all conservatives, though.
What are you talking about? That didn't refute shit.
That didn't refute shit? I literally have been around these people my entire fucking life, dude. Like, what personal experience doesn't count for anything?
Do you think my argument is there's nobody who's just an asshole or evil in the world? Do you really think I was arguing there's no racist?
I'm talking about, like, the majority of the fucking right-wingers that live down here, at least down south, at least this particular variant. Like, if I was to go into a room full of, like, a bunch of Republicans around here, and I would just say, like, man, things were better back in slavery days, you would not hear a peep against what I fucking said. I'm telling you that, fucking straight up.
Yeah, and that exists on every literal argument. I'm not even talking about left and right. They're just everywhere, all over the spectrum. You got the crazies. We all know this.
Well,
I'm telling you I mean, it's not the crazy. See, you keep trying to reduce it down to this crazy fringe. It's not. It's the mainstream. It's what they all really fucking believe behind the mask. It's the fucking Bailey or the Mott or whatever the fuck is what.
See, he's using this all Republicans, all conservatives are racist argument. That's the stereotype.
By the way, mask on, mask off is the correct thing, not Mott and Bailey for this situation.
Yeah, I mean, like, do I think every single Republican is racist? No. But do I think a lot of them are? Yes.
Well, you're acting in the world.
Of them are, of
you're
course.
acting in the world as if they all are, and that's the stereotype. That's because you're spreading.
Wait, but if there is a fucking
what happened to
hyperbole? If there's a party that gives shelter and fucking
the hyperbole's gone.
That's racism. Then you have to treat them all the same.
But here's the issue. Wait.
It's like the scene in the Matrix where you have the thing about, like, hey, these are the people we're trying to free, but until they are, they're your fucking enemy.
Well, yeah. So are you being hyperbolic or not then?
I mean, I think that there's an element of hyperbole, but I also think there's eternal.
No. What does it do with that? Like, how do I argue with a position that's simultaneously not and hyperbolic?
I mean, well, can't something be slightly hyperbolic?
Slightly hyperbolic, I guess.
Well, would it help you, Mahler, if you got like a specific percentage?
I mean, like, wait a minute. Are you saying there's not a gradient of exaggeration?
Of course there is, but what am I supposed to do with this?
What's the fucking problem?
The fact that you said Republicans are like, they're all going to want to do X, that I'm like, that's not true. And you're like, plenty of them around me do. It's like, being hyperbolic.
How is plenty of them around me do not a fucking argument to you? Because it's
you're
anecdotal.
talking about the whole world.
Well, okay. Let me
I'm
address
talking
it.
about the United
This is
States.
why this isn't an argument. Okay, this was Tim Pool's argument for Trump was going to win a landslide in the elections because he drove around and he saw lots of Trump signs where he lived. Okay,
But the
And it's like,
5 people he talked to,
exactly.
Pennsylvania, said that they were all shifting Republican. But also, like, I mean, how are you going to say that it's not even a personal experience? Like you're depicting a caricature. The idea that all these people are like, whoa, we got to bring back slavery. Like, no, come on.
I'm so proud of you, Sean. You didn't change the topic. That's very good. I like that.
Dude, I mean, like, come on. Like, quit bullshitting.
Who wants to own a slave?
Lots of people down south, I'll tell you that.
I've talked to a man.
If you had to ask somebody on a 100-degree day, what would make your day better? Air conditioner, which wasn't around in slavery times, or owning a slave? Like, you really think that they would pick a slave?
It can follow you with the fan.
I mean, it depends on like, obviously now they would choose the air conditioner because slavery is not socially acceptable. But like, if it was, I don't know.
But you just said that you heard all these people talking.
Yeah,
about
evidently it
it
is socially acceptable.
Like, so it is
down
socially
south,
acceptable.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say it was socially acceptable. Obviously, we don't have slavery down here anymore. I'm just saying that there's a lot of people who feel that
Wait, so
it was
I'm
a
actually.
It was a mistake. I mean, like, you see, like this. You've heard like the South will rise. Like, what do you think that means? The South will rise again. What do you think? All the Confederate flags flying around and all the defense of the statues and all this shit. What do you think that's about? You think it's just like, oh man, that's just our heritage. We just really like that statue because it's heritage.
Okay, so out of curiosity, right?
You think they would be just as defensive if it was a statue of Karl Marx? Like, well, that's history. Don't tear the Karl Marx statue down. That's history, y'all.
Well,
like,
it's not our history.
You know, we talked about how you said it would be fine to have the opinion that, for example, COVID numbers are exaggerated. Would be fine if you think that as an opinion. If I was to have stated it as fact, and I said my citation is that I have a family member in the hospitals that is in on it, and is
obviously
is
anecdote only goes so far. That's true.
Well, I was just going to say, like, would you want me to be silenced if I actually start arguing I have a COVID family member who's in on it and knows about it, but they're trying to stop it from the inside, sort of thing?
I mean, I think I'd want to investigate.
But if I said, like, there's no way to investigate because I don't want to get them in trouble.
I don't know. Then I guess whatever. It's a zero sum thing at that point. Like, whatever.
Because the point I'm trying to get at, of course, is that there's a lot of ways we can argue really broad and spicy positions right back down to something that's a bit more like, hey, I'm speaking hyperbolically about my experiences in my life, okay? And it's like, right. But you can blow that right back up to something that's much more, let's say.
I mean, that didn't sound like hyperbole. So you said you have direct knowledge of the COVID being a fraud because hyperbole family member said this or that or the other thing, or directly is involved in a conspiracy. That's not
hyperbole. Hyperbole is one of several ways you can reduce it down. I wasn't using it in that example. I was just saying.
Okay, gotcha.
Because you said like opinions should be okay, but stating things as fact shouldn't. But then if I said I'm stating it as a fact because of something that you can't disprove, what then?
Well, then like I said, you got to err on the side of freedom.
Couldn't I justify everything that way though? I'd be able to say anything at that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're clever enough to phrase it a certain way, you could pretty much still get away with everything. Yes.
No, not. But in terms of what you want to be laid out, you can still get away with everything.
In terms of what you want to be laid out?
In terms of what you wanted to lay out, in terms of like the Ministry of Truth,
Right. Yeah, you can still get away with a lot of stuff. You couldn't get away with everything. You couldn't get away with unambiguous direct statements that such and such is factual when it's not. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to be like, oh, I was just, joking around or this or that, or you find some kind of cover for it. Yeah, there's always loopholes.
Well, could you get away with your statement about all these Republicans want to bring back slavery?
Yeah. I'm telling I'm giving an anecdotal example.
Yeah, but you're extrapolating it out to a broader group.
Yeah, totally.
Sure. So wait,
would that wouldn't work with the races or LGBT community?
So wait, if I had scientifically documented it, like if I went around and like recorded, like how many people do I have to hear it from before like it's a sample size? Like,
well, that's exactly it. If you take like a poll and you got a poll of Republicans saying that they want to bring back slavery,
poll, like it'd have to be something that was like more revelatory. Because of course anyone's asked like, "Are you racist?"
Neuralink.
Like, no, of course not.
If it's assuming you could hypothetically. Okay. Then yes, you could say, okay, you conducted a poll
But I'm asking, like, what kind of random sampling size would
stratified
demonstrate
poll,
that
and
there
you
is a
can
predilection
extrapolate
towards
this outward.
racism in at least Southern Republicans?
No, but you understand that whatever your personal experience is, that's not indicative of the whole, really.
Why not? Why
because
not?
that's not how polling works. That's not how statistics or populations function.
Oh, wait, but like,
well,
if
it's
I
big
take a
This is the
too.
Tim Pool driving around and seeing Trump signs, so Trump's going to win argument.
But he drove around and saw Trump signs, and that was indicative of the fact that Trump has a wide base of support, which he did. Now saying that because of that he was going to win was a bridge too far. But saying I see a lot of Trump signs, therefore Trump has a lot of support, that's not a fucking ridiculous statement at all. It's just truth.
Okay. So you're saying you're going around and you're hearing all these Republicans saying that they.
I mean, I don't know. I don't
want to bring
know
back
that they're
slavery.
Republicans. I know that they're
or right wing.
people.
I don't know,
I
racists.
know there are people who live in one of the reddest districts in America.
Yes.
And I know that this area is predominantly Republican, but I guess I don't know that every example I hear of a racist is a Republican.
I'll grant you that every
I don't know
racist you hear is Republican for the sake of the conversation. Okay.
Well, I'm saying I don't know that.
What are they saying though? Like, did they come up to you and they say, "Oh, hey, TJ,
well, they don't come up to me.
bring slavery
Of course,
back."
they're not coming up to me and saying shit.
When you're at the Klan meeting and they're talking about bringing back slavery,
Yeah,
like how many people are there?
Yeah,
lots of them, tons. That's how I know.
Right. No, but like, how did these conversations?
This just seems like such disingenuous bullshit right now.
Well,
like
you're the
because if I was giving an anecdote that you guys about something you guys agreed with like this, like, oh man, I was hanging around all these trannies and they were talking about how like they fucking totally deceive the scientific institutions and stuff. You'd be like, oh yeah, brother, yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
anecdotal evidence is like a meme thing people bring up all the time. Like, don't give me an anecdote. Like we've all been there. We try to avoid using anecdotes.
And I mean, like I prefaced it as by saying it's anecdotal. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt if you want. But I'm just explaining to you what I have seen.
I'm curious. There's a bunch of Republicans in California. Do they all want to bring back slavery? Does it differ?
I don't know. I don't have enough experience with Republican fucking in California, so I don't know.
Right, but you're willing to paint all those Republicans in California as wanting to bring back slavery.
I don't fucking think I painted them with shit.
Well, you kind of are. I mean, that's what you're saying.
How?
Well, you're saying most of them want to do this thing, therefore I can extrapolate that I can make a judgment against most of them.
I don't feel like I said anything like that, so I think that's a straw man.
Well, you in your video, you said that the only reason Republicans or conservatives care about freedom of speech is because they want to say the N-word. How is that not all of them?
That's hyperbole.
Oh, that's the hyperbole part.
I'm sorry. Do you guys not have any broad brushes in your painting in your little paint box? Because I feel like you probably do.
Listen, this is the origin though of things like racism and bigotry and all kinds of nasty things that we try to avoid. We don't want to say that all gay people are this particular way.
I don't remember ever saying the word all. Okay, so.
Well, you kind of did. I mean, your video was basically saying the only reason Republicans care about freedom of speech is because they want to use the N-word, which implies that they're racist. It does. Sure. I mean, how is that? So is it?
I would assume that there's probably, there's always exceptions to every fucking sort of generality.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that every Republican is that way.
So
I think a lot of them are.
Hold on. Even now, you're characterizing the non-racist Republican as an exception. That's so bad.
Well, it's fucking true. I mean, I'm sorry. Do you want me to fucking sit here and lie to you?
Oh, I missed it. What happened?
I would also say that why wouldn't it activate an audience well enough to say there are people who think this way, rather than painting the whole the team that way? Why wouldn't you be able to worry your people enough to be like, we should act to prevent the bad ones from winning? Rather than just being like, I'll let them think it's all of them. Fuck it, hyperbole.
I don't know. What's the question?
Basically, one of the bigger arguments is like, I can go broader, I can brush that way because it's almost true in lots of different aspects, plus hyperbole, blah blah blah. When I'm saying like the overall goal to activate your audience, you could do that anyway with the examples of the awful individuals. You wouldn't need to paint the whole.
I don't think there's any reason to be disingenuous with the audience. And
that's what we're arguing.
This is the point.
No,
though.
I don't see. This thing is like, I feel like there is a mental block happening where you guys just refuse to accept that like this shit is way worse on one side than it is the other. I don't know if it's like a both sidesism thing.
No, it's not that. I'm just curious, what's the percentage, since you're like not saying all, but you're saying in general,
of
like
us.
white people in the South that you've come across that are like possibly Republican?
Because I don't, I mean, obviously I don't fucking have a,
Well, it's probably
what would be your percentage for the bring back slavery crowd?
Yeah, give us an idea. Bull talk.
All right. So prefacing
no
this
hyperbole.
Okay, no hyperbole. Prefacing this by saying that like this is my rough guess.
Your gut intuition check, yes.
My intuition, so take it as just that. In the particular area that I'm in, the candid conversations that I've been subjected to, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because, you know, I don't know what the areas that I go might be predominantly reflective of different demographics than like the overall demographics of the area. But I don't know. I'd say at least 10, 15%.
Oh my God. That's so horrible. Okay. At least, you know.
I mean, I'm sorry that the reality that I've experienced is like so troublesome, but it is. I don't know.
It's just funny, honestly.
But you're saying 85% of you're saying 85%.
You're just in fucking denial, bro. Like,
well, you're saying you're in denial. You're literally saying 85% of the Republicans in the South are not racist.
If you said like, listen, like 10, 15% based on my experience. What percent would be comfortable
with slavery, not what aren't racist. If you want to ask me how many are racist, I'd say like 90.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck. All right.
If you give me like that solid 10 to 15%
that wasn't the question you asked me. You asked me what percentage would support slavery coming back. So you're talking about like extreme racism, but there's different levels of racism, obviously.
Yeah, right. That's why I'm laughing. If you give me the 10 to 15 for like the definite like hardcore racist, I'd be like, all right, you know what? That's your experience. But like, come on, like, why are we even talking about slavery right now? Like, it's so absurd. Like,
why?
It's over.
I mean, it is over. That's true. Very good, Sean. True fact. I mean, he's when he's right, he's right. Slavery is over.
Well, no, it's not. Haven't you seen what's going on in these prisons?
The 13th Amendment didn't abolish slavery; it legalized it.
That's right.